Hey friend, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here listening to another episode of the Pattern Design Circle podcast. Here we talk all about the ins and outs of designing knit and crochet patterns and running a business that makes it all possible. I'm Jessica, your host, knitting pattern designer, design mentor, and the friend in your ear. Can't wait to dive right in. The Pattern Design Circle podcast is sponsored by the Pattern Design Circle, a membership community for knit and crochet pattern designers that are feeling lost, lonely, or frustrated in their business. It connects you with a supportive community that's always eager to answer your questions and help you through the hard times. And there's loads of resources and activities specifically catered to business and designing. Sound like your jam? Check it out at snickerdoodleknits.com/design-circle. That's snickerdoodle, like the cookie, knits, knits.com/design-circle. All right, let's get into it. Hello and welcome, my friend. I am so excited to be here with you again, chatting on the Pattern Design Circle podcast. It's been a hot minute since I've recorded because I like to record in advance. I bulk create. And so I think the last time I podcasted was almost 2 months ago. If you're watching this live or listening to this live and you've been keeping track of all the podcast episodes, there has been a couple week break. I was on vacation and I didn't get the content created before I left. So this episode is actually it's a very impromptu episode, really reflecting on myself and what I'm seeing in other people around me right now, relevant to this season. So right now it is December 2022. That doesn't really matter that much, but I'm really thinking about this season of December, the holiday season, and everything that comes up for us as humans and as business owners. And I guess really, sorry, I have the video portion going on because I post this also on YouTube. And I realized my headband was like all cattywampus, so I got distracted. Anyway, this is really about this busy season of the holidays. And there are so many emotions that come up for us with it being the holidays and with the end of the year, and it's just a lot. There's, family emotions and ideas of guilt and chaos and feeling frantic, and then all of the emotions of our business and our goals and our plans and everything for the year. And did we achieve as much as we wanted to? And are we fulfilling our plans and our goals and all of that? And so it can feel like there's this, at least for myself, there's this lot of tension between, all right, I feel like this is a time where I really just need to relax. I need to slow down. There's already enough going on around me. I don't need to add to it by feeling worked up inside of me. And at the same time of, oh, how much can I push at the end of the year to really finish off strong and to achieve everything I wanted to achieve and all of these different things. And a lot of times it kind of makes me feel burnt out and overwhelmed and stressed and not loving what I'm doing. So really, I want this episode to be a calm reminder for you to check in with yourself. Think back to when you did your planning and your goal setting for this year. Maybe that was the beginning of January, the end of December, beginning of December, whenever that was for you. Maybe it wasn't until June. That is okay. The point is, think back to that point. What was most important to you for this year? Out of everything, what was most important to you? Was it to spend time with family? Was it to be more intentional in what you're doing? Was it to design a certain number of patterns? What was it that you really wanted this year? And how did you want to feel? Did you want to feel stressed and chaotic and hustling? Did you want to feel peaceful and calm and like maybe more in control? What is it that you wanted to feel? And so with that in mind, then maybe it's easier to figure out how do we want to end this year. Your main goal was to design 28 patterns and you have 27 done. Maybe it makes sense to go ahead and design that last pattern so you feel accomplished. Maybe I should also add to that. When you check in on what was my main goal, what did I really want to fill, ask if that is that still relevant for me right now? Because if it's not relevant anymore, then don't push for it. Push for it. If you have 27 patterns, you're like, yeah, this feels good. You don't need to make that 28th pattern just to check the box. Life, business, personal development, all of it. We set these goals and these plans, and they're great and wonderful. I love setting plans. But the dates often, it's pretty arbitrary. This whole idea of we're planning for a year, there's a lot that comes up in a year. There's a lot of unknowns. Maybe it turns out that our goals and our plans, they weren't realistic, or maybe we just had too many things come up. Maybe we changed what our actual intention was. Maybe we had health crises. Maybe we had family emergencies. Maybe we had a whole new opportunity that was even better than what we had planned for ourselves. And so the point here in what I'm trying to say is, yes, let's do those plans. Let's make those goals. That really helps us to be intentional and to focus on what we're creating, what we're doing, and how we're moving forward. But if you're on, today I'm recording this December 7th, whatever day it is that you are listening to this, if you're here with less than a month left of the year and you're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed and like a failure because you haven't accomplished your goals and your plans, don't. Just don't. It's okay. We have next year. I mean, I guess we're not guaranteed, but for the sake of this conversation, in terms of thinking about the future of your life and the future of your business, it doesn't have to be done by December 31st of 2022. Our life is a continuation. It's not actually all these start and stop dates that we create. Our life just keeps going on. Time just keeps going on. Our business just keeps going on. And so it doesn't matter if you didn't achieve your goals for this year. All right. So what I was saying, don't mind my little mini rants. Really what I was saying was, okay, let's check in. What did we really want to do this year? What were our main objectives? I know for me, my main objectives have been around emotions, around really feeling good, feeling grounded, feeling authentic, and feeling aligned and really intentional in what I'm doing. And so for me, it doesn't feel like this year, it makes a lot of sense for me to just push through all of the goals for this month, to hit all of those income goals, all of those ideas, things that I wanted to create and do, because then it's just a scramble and then it's no longer intentional and no longer feels amazing and no longer makes me feel good. Instead, it's overwhelmed and chaotic and the quality isn't great and I'm burnt out and I'm tired and exhausted. And that's really defeating my whole overarching goal that I had for myself. So I'm really begging you, step back, think about it. What is actually important for you overall for this year and in this season? Maybe you really would have loved to have finished the XYZ goal, but there's just too much going on this month. That is okay. If you wanted to, you could just push that stuff to January, start next year in February. It doesn't matter. It's okay. I promise you. We have created these guidelines and deadlines, and I love them. I'm very deadline driven and goal oriented and all of those things. But sometimes it's better for us to set those aside. It's better for us to just take a step back, remember the bigger picture. And so my ask for you in this podcast is for you to focus. Rather than taking a look at your goals for the year and saying, all right, I have 12 things I still haven't gotten done. I need to just hurry up and finish them. No, think about what's most important to you. Focus on that. What is most important to you in your personal life? in your relationships, in your personal development, in your health, and health is physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being, all of those things. In your business, in your designing, in how you're interacting with your customers. What is the most important thing for you? And focus on that. We are so much more successful, so much more driven when we really see the intention and the purpose and the mission behind something, and we focus on it. When we have a million tasks, and I'm guilty of this, I love to plan all the things, and that means over planning a lot of times. I'm trying to get better at it. But when we have 50 things that we're like, oh, I just want to accomplish all of it, we overwhelm ourselves. We overwhelm our customers. We overwhelm the people around us. And often it isn't actually what we really want. What we really want has to do with how we want to feel, or how we want other people to feel. It's easy to look at those tangible items on the checklist that says, I'm going to design a cowl, I'm just going to design a scarf, I'm going to post 3 times on Instagram, I'm going to, XYZ, all of these things. When really what we actually want is, I want to feel rooted, I want to feel connected, I want to feel easeful, I want to feel in alignment, I want to feel XYZ. Those things aren't as easy to accomplish because it's not just a check on the check mark, on the checklist. Those are things that they are continual, and there's no one single recipe to achieve that. But that is what really we need to be using, not only in this season, in all seasons, in all of our planning and everything. Use that as your guiding star to determine what to actually focus on, what to actually work on. And that feels so much better, both as you work through it and when you look back. Because how many times have you accomplished a million things and you look back and you're like, oh, that was exhausting. Did I really get anywhere? Did that actually accomplish anything? I checked off a bunch of things off my to-do list, but I feel like I'm still in the same spot. Is that helpful? Is that actually moving you to where you want to be? Or is it just busy work consuming you and your time and your energy? And so in this season, that tends to be so busy, so chaotic, so much emotion. And I also don't want to neglect the fact that this is up here in the northern hemisphere. Now we're getting into the winter season. Technically, it's not winter yet, but depression and anxiety and all of those things, so many of us deal with on a seasonal level, and that just adds to it. So rather than adding more things to our plate, how can we really focus on the things that are most important on the plate and take the other things off? They might go over onto, I don't know, I'm not used to fancy dinners, but maybe we have a plate for the salad and a plate for the dessert and a soup bowl. Maybe we can move some of those things off of our main plate over to those other dishes and say, I'm just going to focus on the main plate right now. This is what is really important for me. This is what's going to fill me up. This is what's going to feel good in this season. This is what's going to make me feel like I've actually achieved my goals, that I'm really focused on being the person I want to be and showing up how I want to be. And so I just want you to feel like you have that permission. Not that you don't need that permission from me. You don't need that permission from anybody. But I want you to know you have that permission. And maybe just this is a reminder that you have that permission. You have the power. The power is already yours. You just have to pick it up and accept it. Really tune into what is most important with you. So just as a recap, think back to beginning of whenever you were planning for this time period. What did you really want to achieve? How did you really want to feel? And think about today, what actually feels important? What is going to help you feel like you finished the year, the month, the season on the right foot? That might be slowing down, taking breaks, resting, reflecting, thinking about the future, vision casting, all of that. It might be wrapping up loose ends. It might be finishing up a big project. It might be a little bit of hustle. And that's fine. I know that I kind of maybe talk a little bit more negatively about that because I feel like the hustle culture is so strong and so demanding and so often not in alignment with who we are and what we want. But this season, remember you have power over it. What do you want and how are you going to get there? If something doesn't immediately pop up in your head right now, think about it. Maybe go out for a walk, just in the quiet, and think about it. Maybe journal about it. Maybe when you're washing the dishes, think about it. But whatever you do, get very clear on what that is so that at the end of the year, when you're reflecting, you're thinking back about the year, maybe it wasn't perfect. Probably wasn't. Are any of us ever perfect? Or any of our years ever perfect? There's a lot that comes up. But you can say, I ended it the way I wanted to. You don't have to feel bad about not accomplishing everything. You can feel like you didn't let go and give up, but instead you kept aligned. All right. I think that's all I have for you. I mean, I could ramble forever, of course, but I truly, truly hope that this is helpful for you. I hope that it reminds you of the power that you have. It gives you the permission that you need, either to push forward in full force or to take a step back and breathe. You've got this. I'm cheering you on. And we'll get back more into other scheduled content in future podcast episodes. I'll talk to you later, my friend. Wow, thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you found it valuable, please share the podcast with a designer friend. And if you have a minute, leave a review. It's so helpful for me and means the world to me. Chat soon.